Welcome back, Remodelites. Dave with Remodel Media, and give me a minute just to make sure that this is live and we are going here. Let's see. You know, we're having some technical difficulties. Give me just a minute. Microphone check. Microphone check. All right, let's try that. Let's see if that works. Microphone check. Microphone check. All right, let's try that. Let's see if that works. Okay, so I apologize. I will get better at these live streams as we continue. Now, I'll have to fix the thumbnail when we're all done here, after I go in and put notes in there. I'm going to put some links in the description below. So thank you for sticking with me. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 5 remodel trends for 2020. And there's going to be, we're going to be having some discussion about where we see the bathroom design trends going. We're going to talk about some experiences that I've had and a couple of quick tips, things you shouldn't forget when you're planning out your bathroom remodel as well. So this, to give credit where credit is due, this was inspired by an article I read on thinkglink.com. I'll put the link in the description below. But I took each of their ideas and I wasn't 100%, I didn't agree on each of them, but I put my own spin on and my own experience on top of some of their recommendations. So first things first is we're going to start with number 5 and we're going to count down to number 1. Number 5 is upgrading the shower. I have noticed that there is less emphasis on custom jetted tubs. I sell a lot fewer custom jetted tubs than I did even 14 years ago. And there's more of an emphasis in custom showers. Now, custom showers can include a lot of things. It can include some steam showers. Now, when you're planning out a steam shower, a couple of things to remember are length, width, and height of the shower all play a factor in which steam generator you purchase. In other words, if you're going to purchase a steam shower generator, which is essentially like a tiny water heater, what's going to happen is you want that water heater to be able to produce just enough steam to fill the cavity and keep it, at a comfortable temperature. If you get an overpowered generator, what's going to happen is you're going to be very uncomfortable in that steam. If you get a generator that is not quite powerful enough, then you are going to get a steam generator that doesn't quite fill the area and just doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So it's important to take these into account. Some brands actually go a step further and actually calculate in the wall material, such as, for example, a porcelain or ceramic tile is going to be a little bit more of an insulator than a natural stone tile or natural stone slabs. Natural stone, as I've mentioned in previous videos, is porous. So if you go and put natural stone on the walls, then those pores are going to allow heat to escape, and you want to make sure that you're calculating that into the power of the generator that you purchase. Number 2 on that list of upgrading the shower would be rain heads. Now, rain heads are they're a very broad category, and they range from little small 6-inch things to giant 24-inch things and everything in between. So the definition of what a rain head is, there is no one standard definition. Every brand does it a little differently, and they're available in so many different shapes and sizes that it's hard to put them all in one basket because they're not all created equal. The one that I have in my shower is a Jacklow rain machine, which I have a photo of right here. So the Jacklow rain machine, pardon me, there we go. There we are. So the Jacklow rain machine is it's a rain head that is actually available in both round and square, and it is available 6, 8, 10, 14 inches. Just depends on what you want. You can have rain heads that come off the wall, rain heads that come off the ceiling. I'll put a link in the description below. I have a 6-inch one. The thing to remember about rain heads, though, the bigger you go, the less pressure you're going to have. Now, one of the reasons that I particularly enjoy my rain machine is quite simply, it's powerful enough to do the job for me. My wife still needs the hand shower, of course. But the one thing I do like about the Jacklow rain machine, and do with this information what you will, but the flow restrictor is a bright green or bright blue plastic piece, and it's right inside the shower. It slides out incredibly easily. Do with that information what you want. But yeah, so that's number 1 is the Jacklow rain machine, rain head. So we've talked about steam showers, we've talked about rain heads. Hand showers. Now, hand showers can be mounted on a sliding bar and also on a hook. Usually, if it's a larger shower with a seated area, usually the hand shower is mounted near the seat for ease of use. As I mentioned, I rarely will seek out the use of a hand shower. My wife, on the other hand, she uses it to get the soap out of her hair, to get the to wash out the shower, to wash off children. When our kids were young enough, our youngest is 7 now, so it's not really relevant. He takes care of himself pretty well. But washing off dogs, my boys use it to bathe the dogs. So it does come in handy for that. Body sprays. Now here's a tricky one. Now, I actually stayed in a hotel that had body sprays. Years ago, I went back to Kohler, Wisconsin, actually. And I stayed in there's a whole town named Kohler after the Kohler fixtures company. And they do body sprays, and the hotel had body sprays, and incidentally, they happened to be Kohler body sprays. Go figure. But the body sprays are actually, I enjoy them. It gives you an overall cleaning feeling. Some popular locations to put the body sprays, usually they're sold in 3s, or usually they're purchased in 3s. You can buy them individually, of course. But the popular locations to have them hit are between the shoulder blades, small of the back, and the back of the leg. Now, the reason that people get them, it can vary from they just like the overall feeling to they have some sort of a muscular complaint or something like that. I have a picture right here, a couple of pictures showing the proper installation of a pressure balancing loop. Here we go. So this was taken from, I think, Terry Love's website. He does lots of plumbing advice, and he has some really good advice when it comes to this. But you see how there's a loop there. The plumbing doesn't just run right up to the body spray. I'm going to show you a couple other diagrams here. So we have, this is another option when it comes to a pressure balancing loop. Now, a pressure balancing loop, all this does is, you'll see how the water flows. Water flows in the path of least resistance. And so when this water flows, you're going to, the water that does not come out of this shower, the bottom shower head, is going to flow around to the top. And so in that way, you're going to have equalized pressure. If you have body sprays, and if you do not do this, what's going to happen is water is going to come out of, like in this instance right here, if they did not loop it like that, then what would happen is in this plumbing installation, most of the water would probably come out of the middle one, and the other two would trickle. So if you have a shower head, if you have a body spray where one head produces all of the pressure and the rest of them trickle, the problem is with the plumber and the installation. He did not know how to properly do a pressure balancing loop. So I've had plumbers try and blame the valve. The valve doesn't control this. It's, you know, I had some plumbers say, oh, well, we put a 3/4 valve on a 1/2 inch line. He actually said this. We put a 3/4 valve on a 1/2 inch line. That must be what's causing it. Really? No. That's not what's causing it. So, which brings me to another point, is the whole reason that I have this series is I am on a mission to eliminate regret. The worst feeling in the world for me is having a customer say, I wish I had known, or I wish I had done. And I don't like that. I don't want that for anybody. Not for you, not for me, not for anybody, to make a decision and have it get messed up later on. So the final piece of advice for upgrading the shower is don't forget the drain. Don't assume the plumber's going to get you a nice drain. And again, I'm not disrespecting plumbers. If you are a plumber and you're watching this and you're about to hit the keyboards, it's okay. You probably know what you're doing. But not everybody does, especially here in California. The definition of plumber is very broad. So there's not a lot, you know, it doesn't take a lot to call yourself a plumber, unfortunately. So, and most plumbers, in my experience in California, will put in whatever drain they have in the back of their truck, which is usually some round little, you know, junky circular thing that might not even match the finish. You may have oil rub bronze fixtures, and he puts in this chrome stainless looking shower drain. So don't forget about the shower drain. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can go about putting in a shower drain. Now, one of my favorites, it's not a cheap way to go, but it has won some design rewards, is the wall drain from Quickdrain. Now, the wall drain from Quickdrain is a really cool unit, mostly because you've got the I don't know if you can, yeah. So you see that piece of tile at the bottom of the wall? That's actually removable. So if you ever need to like snake the drain or something like that, the water just flows into the wall and down. There's no drain actually on the floor. It flows into the wall, behind the wall, and down. And that's really cool. It's also not really cheap. I think at the last time I priced one out, I don't know, the price was around $3,000. So it's not cheap, not at all. But it is really cool. So if this happens to fit your budget, then good for you. Another option, and probably more common, and you can do something like this. And again, I'll put some helpful links in the description below after the broadcast. But something like this, a simple linear drain, and it doesn't have to be in the middle like that. It can go wall to wall with it. But a linear drain, especially with like a tile-in insert, is really handy. The one thing I will say, this happens to be a Quickdrain from a company called Quickdrain USA. And they have a hot mop adapter. So if you're in California or any other place that does a hot mop, make sure that you are requesting the hot mop adapter. It's an extra $35, but it is well worth getting up front. Even if your plumber already has one, he says, oh no, I've got one just like it, use the manufacturer recommended one. It's a lot easier than trying to trying to manage it after the fact. So sorry, I'm just checking the chat here, seeing if we've got... I'm checking to see if we've got any questions. No questions just yet. Okay. So don't forget the shower drain. Now, if you do forget the shower drain and your plumber does put in his own, and you look at it and you get really disappointed because nobody told you to remember to put in a nice shower drain, there are options. Now, one of those options is a company called Designer Drains. Designerdrains.com. They will make a decorative cover for around $100 or so, $100 to $150. Laser cut steel, very nice. You can get it oil rub bronze and brushed nickel and chrome and all these other colors. And you can actually get some really decorative drains that retrofit onto your existing drain and have a nice looking shower. Because that's the point of a remodel, is to be happy with the look and the function after you've spent tens, 20s of thousands of dollars here. So sorry, I'm going to mute that. All right. So that's tip number 5, upgrade the shower. Tip number 4 is not your mom's formica. So I was actually in a showroom not long ago, and I was actually admiring some cabinets, and I went and I went to the designer. I said, this is an interesting material. It's not a natural wood. What is it? And the designer looked at me and said, that's formica. And instantly I had flashbacks to my mom's formica countertops with the, that were peeling up at the edge and just very, low budget. And I went, that's formica? And that's the moment when it dawned on me that man-made materials are actually really, really making a comeback. They're actually good now. Whether it be a man-made quartz or composite stones or recycled glass, a lot of them are either recycled or recyclable. So they're very green. So for folks who want to be eco-friendly, you've got that. The man-made materials, don't discount them just because you have bad memories of your mom's formica, because I know I do. So that's tip number 4 is make yourself open to the man-made materials. I know, like in my mom's shower, for example, when we redid it, we actually used a material called Swanstone, and Swanstone's it's a composite stone, and it's incredibly heavy. Even the soap and I know it's heavy because I had to carry it up the driveway. The soap dish that we were putting in the shower felt like a brick. I mean, that's how heavy this thing was. So I would encourage anybody who is considering a remodel, trying to keep the budget a little bit lower, but they also don't want to go super cheap and, get something that's like plastic, it's going to turn yellow or whatever. Consider Swanstone. It's a really good option for shower walls and shower floors and stuff like that. So tip number 3 is some advice that I got 14 years ago when I first started in this business. Somebody once told me that we are where the car industry was in the 50s and 60s. This is what they said 14 years ago. And it's true. If you think back to the car industry in the 50s and 60s, that's when innovation really started happening. And innovations like power doors and windows and power locks, interesting things like that. You started to see more like convertibles and just fun things that, why? Just because I can, kind of a thing. So that's true. And that has held true for the last 14 years for me as I've watched products come about. One of the biggest ways that's come about, especially in the last couple of years, is voice activation, smart home activation type of products. Delta has a VoiceIQ faucet, a couple. Actually, I'll put some links in the description below, where it's literally, Alexa, pour me a cup of water, pour me 8 ounces of water, and things like that. And you can do that. That's a thing. We're looking at 2020. That's a thing. It's the future. We're here. So, smart home connected devices. You can get a lock for your front door that you can remote control from your iPhone. You can have it set. You can have a lock set where if your phone gets half a mile away or more and the door's not locked, it'll automatically lock in case you forgot. Things like that. So, the fact you can also have it if you get within 100 feet, it will automatically unlock as you get close. Things like that. So, smart home connected devices have been a huge boom in the industry just over the last few years. Turning the oven on from the smartphone has been a thing for the last 5 or 6 years. So that's actually an old piece of technology, is controlling your oven from your smartphone. Let's see. One of the first companies that ever came out with that, I think, was maybe Decor. It used an Android operating system, but that's okay. We won't hold that against them. Also, bidet toilets. Bidet toilets finally are having their day. I've been selling them now for 14 years. And here's the funny thing about bidet toilets is everyone that has one they can't imagine their life without it. Everyone who has one loves it and would buy one again. Everyone who doesn't have one and has never been to a place where, I have a lot of folks that come back from Japan or Europe or places like that, and they go, oh, I need one of those. But for people they've never been to Japan or Europe, They've never owned one. They've never stayed in a place that had one. They look at it cross-eyed still. And, but finally people are starting to really get it, that this is, everything, bidet toilets have such a huge advantage. And not just bidet toilets, but bidet toilet seats and things like that. You can actually retrofit a seat onto your existing toilet. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about how and why. If you want details, you can check out this video. You can check out this video. And you can check out this video. So I've done no less than 3 videos focusing on bidet or bidet combination type toilets and toilet seats. So check out one of these 3 videos if you want more information on exactly how a bidet works and what it does. It is really handy for self-care, for aging in place, and just the fact that you literally use less toilet paper, because when you're done, you're clean. So that's enough talk about that. But finally, bidet toilets are starting to become more mainstream, and I love that. So, boop, boop, boop. All right. So LED lighting in shower heads, that's a thing now. LED lighting in shower heads often, now in the article that I mentioned, they did say that these shower heads required power. I've honestly never sold one to anybody that did require power. They always work on their own power. And the way it works basically for most manufacturers that I've seen is there's a little turbine in there that when the water passes through the shower head, it spins a wheel. That wheel generates some power, and the LEDs on the shower head come on. I'll put some links in the description below to some LED shower heads that use the hydropower or whatever you want to call it for you to check out. So tip number 2, or design trend number 2, we have 5, 4, 3, 2, medicine cabinet and bathroom mirrors. Now, I would say over the last 20 years or so, 14 that I've been doing this, there's been this trend towards electric mirrors. And most people know that you can get a lighted mirror these days. Back in the day, there was really one company doing it for everyone. It was a company called Electric Mirror. They're out of the Pacific Northwest. I think they're in Washington State. And they will they'll make lots of different sizes and lots of different configurations. You could get a mirror with a TV in it and things like that. And if you've ever stayed in a hotel that had such a device, chances are it was made by Electric Mirror. I remember one time I had a customer that was looking at a particular mirror, and they wanted this mirror in a 48 by 36. They didn't make it, but they made a 36 by 48. So I called the company, I talked to Travis, and Travis says, well, we did the 48-36 variation for, I forget, the Hyatt in Atlanta or something like that. And he said, just charge the customer for the same price as a 36-48. But and just note that we're going to make it a 48-36 and send me the order. And we did, and it was great, and it was awesome, and the customer loved it. And so back in the day, Electric Mirror was the go-to. Nowadays, there's a lot of Chinese knockoffs, but still Electric Mirror is at the forefront of that technology. So just be aware, though, that for a good American-made one, not a Chinese one, the price point for a small one without a TV, just a lighted mirror, is going to start around $1,000, just so you know. Now that brings me to medicine cabinets. as part of that as well. So medicine cabinets, you can get medicine cabinets that are recessed. You can get medicine cabinets that are recessed in the wall. You see on this one here. So that's not super new. That's been around for quite a while, but people are still discovering that, for some reason, that's something they can do. You can also get lighted medicine cabinets right here. There we go. This one happens to be a Roburn. I believe it's the IO series, AIO. And so you have lighted medicine cabinets. That little dot in the bottom corner is actually how you turn it on and off. Boop. Still learning how to work Prism here, you guys, so thank you. So medicine cabinets and bathroom mirrors, some other features to look out for if you want. Because here's the thing, for a good American-made medicine cabinet, not even with lights or anything, price is going to start around $300 and go up to upwards of over $3,000. So, and the upgrades available are going to include lighting, power outlets, TVs, and defoggers. Now, the way most of these mirrors and cabinets have a defogger, it's basically, it needs electricity, and it's a heating element inside the mirror. You can't really see it, but you can see where, your mirror does not get foggy. So design trend number 1 listed in the article was talked about how less is more, and many baths are incorporating a white minimalist type look. And I disagree, but I also agree. I agree that minimalist is a thing. And I certainly do plenty of minimalist designs. Something like this right here. Basic white. You see the floating cabinets. You'll see the barrier-free shower. You'll see a very simple color scheme. In fact, there's almost no color whatsoever. You've got some greenery. You've got a little bit of wood tone inside the cabinet, and you've got a little black frame around it. But minimalist does not have to mean no color. You can introduce color a little bit more. You see the grays in the marble on this one. You see the more wood tone in the cabinets and in the niche. There's some artwork on the wall. You can introduce more color, even though you see they did that neat wall-mounted toilets. Wall-mounted toilets and wall-mounted vanities are hugely popular when people are looking. The reason people don't is because they get this weird thing in their head about, it could fall out of the wall. The chances of it falling out of the wall, if it's properly mounted, are so infinitesimally small, as long as the installation is done correctly. And then that just comes back to hiring the right professional. So, that's all I'll have to say about that. So let me know in the comments below, where are you watching from, and what trends are you seeing in your neighborhood? What have you seen that really excites you about your next remodel? Let me know down below, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.